The warmest of greetings to you, and welcome to Happily Ever Teaching. This is the podcast to help you enthrall your learners in every subject under the sun using the best teaching method known to science, storytelling. To do this, we feature special guest educators who are passionately keen for your children to become amazing and successful human beings. I am storyteller Chip Cahoon, and with me today is...
Hi, I'm Helen, and I teach reception and Year 1 children at the moment at a small school in Buckinghamshire.
And I'm Nicola, and I teach Year 6 children at a school in Hampshire, and I've spent time in my career also teaching students at Teacher Training College at university.
And today we are exploring learning outcomes in physical education with a folktale found all around the world on the importance of balance, adapted by us to feature legendary pirate queen Grace O'Malley. You can listen to the story by downloading our sister podcast, Fables and Fairy Tales, or search our website, epictales.co.uk, for Pirate Grace and the Mermaid Medicine. There you'll find a video of me telling the story that you can share with your children. And if you sign up as an Epic Educator, you'll also get a copy as an ebook or paperback, beautifully illustrated by Erica Terry Rose, as well as the full audiobook for you to download at any time. There are even some tips there for telling the story yourself, and a whole heap of resources to go with the lesson ideas we're about to discuss, including any extra lesson ideas that we don't have time to fit into this podcast. Right now, though, let's conclude our discussion with Helen, Nicola, and Pirate Grace, and very appropriately for pirates, I think, and maybe mermaids as well, we are looking at physical education to finish things off. So, Nicola, shall we start at the top end of the school today, ages 7 to 11? Where are the physical education learning outcomes here?
Well, definitely a big one that I know we've mentioned earlier is the idea of teamwork and cooperation, and encouraging games that involve teamwork. Something that I've done before is having children at one side of the hall or gymnasium or wherever you are, and having to get to the other side, but they can only stand on certain pieces of equipment. So working together as a team to be able to get to the other side. So you could have a sort of pirate theme to that as well.
Definitely.
So the idea of developing cooperation together is really important. I also have a pirate game that I've played for many, many years where it's like a warm-up game. The children, do you know the game I'm talking about? And kind of call out the compass direction, so north, south, east, west, and they have to run to them. They have to climb the rigging, pretending to climb up a ladder.
Scrub the decks.
Scrub the decks, man the lifeboats.
Man overboard. I can't remember what they have to do when you say man overboard.
There's one where you put your leg up in the air, and there's one where you put your arm up in the air. But whatever it is, and also there's a captain's daughter. I mean, there we go. We've got Grace there. They're curtsying to the captain's daughter. Yes. And it's just a fantastic warm-up game. Children love it. And I would definitely recommend playing that in class. Also, my children love getting the mats out and playing pirates and jumping from mat to mat. And some people are the pirates trying to capture them in the water in between. And you're never too old for that. You really aren't. I think I even enjoy it too.
As another story that you can turn to should Grace get old and you need something to rekindle your young learners' enthusiasm for that activity, look at the true story of Nelson's, I think it was the Battle of Cape St. Vincent. It was before he lost his arm or lost his eye, and he managed to capture 2 ships with one gangboard. So he boarded one ship, and when another ship came along to try and rescue their friend, he used exactly the same gangboard to go over and board them as well. And I can imagine that being a fun addition to the game, to get Matt on one side, carry the gangboard from one side to the other and jump across.
Yeah, there's so many variations of that game that you can do.
You've got that kind of idea of which team can get their whole team across the other side first.
Yes, you're not allowed in the water because you're going to get eaten by sharks.
Yes, it's that strategy. So you've got to help each other out as well as get yourself to the other end in order to get your team to the other end.
A bit like Grace, she helped everybody to get to the other end and have happy lives because they survived.
Are you as collaborative down at your end of the school, Helen, with ages 4 to 7?
Actually, I was going for something slightly different, almost the opposite. I had also thought of the game that Nicola mentioned, the being a captain's crew, because it's again, it's great for warming up and children love it. But then I also thought about some kind of, now bear with me because I don't have the full details in my head, but some kind of attacking game where children are spreading the disease.
Oh, okay.
So I had this idea that it's essentially a tag game, a dodging, a tagging kind of game.
Yeah.
But, someone has the cough and then they pass it to someone else. And then there's 2 people with the cough. So they're both on the same team. It then becomes easier to catch more people.
It's basically a game of it. But when you tag someone, you don't stop being it.
Yes, you've caught it. I mean, it's a kind of a mix of tag and bulldog, where you're running across, someone catches you, and you're all on the same team. So that kind of idea. But then you've got quite a light-hearted game, but at the same time, the children are learning. I really explicitly teach children how not just to run around in circles, how to actually change direction, to dodge, to change direction, to actually use some
evasive maneuvers.
That's the word, evasive maneuvers. All those skills that you can teach through a game in the younger years, actually when they come to play team games, are going to be really useful.
Yes.
So I hadn't formed all of how that would work, but that kind of idea of
that sounds brilliant. And to try and just give it a little twist on the whole British Bulldog game, you know those sort of pirate ship rides that you have at fairgrounds where you basically swing from one side to another.
Oh yeah.
If you imagine that you're on a pirate ship and when it swings, you've basically got to get from one side of the hall to the other, like you are being sort of swung across the pirate ship. That could be a fun way of doing it, especially if you can get something like a seesaw, some kind of contraption mounted on a horse, for example, that you can use to indicate the way that the boat is leaning. And that's when the children have to decide which side is home. It's going to be the side that the seesaw is leaning down on. I'm hoping this is much easier to visualize than my words.
Yeah, I think I've got a picture in my head of that. Yeah.
I think we're going to inspire children in our PE lessons though on the playground, because we've got a fantastic climbing frame. I can just imagine them thinking there's the pirate ship, and I can just imagine them going into play with this, which is fantastic for their physical development.
And once again, we're finishing an episode with loads of stuff I actually want to go out and do myself.
Yes.
That's all we have time for in this episode, folks, and indeed this story. If you'd like to talk to us about anything you've heard in this podcast, or if there's a subject you are soon to teach that you'd like us to cover, you can find us on social media using @TeachHappily, or leave us a review using your favourite podcast app. Please do also share this podcast with your colleagues and help us start a story-led revolution in classrooms around the world, so children everywhere can learn in a way that's effective, memorable, and enjoyable all at the same time. We'll be back next week to visit Indian folklore for an answer to the question, who is the real king of the jungle? Hint, it's not the lion. Right now, though, it only remains for us to say cheerio, and we hope to hear your story soon. So,
cheerio!
And we hope to hear your story soon.